There is no tax hike.
But if you are in, say, for example, Indiana, tax hikes would be in your future. This has Indiana Republican Dan Burton crying foul. He doesn't think tax hikes or cuts should be done on the basis of where you live. Welcome, sir. Thank you for being here. Well, yeah, I mean, you start to do, well, it's so much more expensive to live in New York. Let's give them a break. Obviously, that's a little disconcerting, is it not?
Oh, my goodness, yes, Liz and David. Nadler's giving a COLA to the people in his district so that the Democrats in New York can get reelected. The fact of the matter is your previous panel was right on. We need to have tax cuts across the board. We need to keep the Bush tax cuts. I think we need to cut capital gains further than what it is right now. And remember that, and I remember because I was elected to Congress in 1982 and 83, that when Reagan came in and we had the horrible problems, 12% unemployment with Carter and 14% inflation and 21% interest rates, he was told he should raise taxes. Instead, he cut taxes, and we had 20 years of prosperity, and the unemployment went down, and the amount of money coming into the Treasury, instead of going down, went up by almost double. This is what we ought to be doing right now, cutting taxes for everybody, business and individuals.
And Congressman Burton, it's very simple. I mean, you look at all the ways the government has spent, or some would say misspent money with the stimulus spending, hundreds of billions of dollars in the past year and a half here, and we want to give them $700 billion more. Wouldn't that money be better off? And even if all that money is spent, even if people don't invest the money but just spend it, wouldn't it be better for our economy than if we give it to bureaucrats?
Absolutely. You and Liz are both very young and good-looking people, and you don't want to see these deficits end up causing you and your money to be depreciated. You don't want to see inflation. You don't want to see higher taxes, let alone what it's going to do to our kids and grandkids. We don't need to be spending any more money on any kind of a stimulus. What we need to do is cut spending, go through with a strong carving knife and carve out wasteful spending and duplication in government and get on with cutting taxes.
Would you support that on defense as well? I mean, we've got a very expensive war we're running here.
The number one responsibility, Liz, for this country and for every administration is to defend the people against enemies, both domestic and... Yeah, I mean, we need to spend what's necessary to defend America, but everything else ought to be up for grabs, and we ought to cut wherever we can to make sure we get this budget
including
back in
Medicare
balance.
and Social Security.
Well, I think all entitlements ought to be looked at. You know, I don't know exactly where we ought to cut, but I don't think anything should be off the board. Right now, the health care bill the president got rammed through is going to do more damage to Medicare and Medicaid and health care than anything we could do by going through and streamlining government.
Republican Congressman Dan Burton, always a pleasure, particularly when you compliment the looks of my co-host and myself. We love that stuff.
Well, David, I heard you were going to become a movie star. I was looking forward to your first movie.
Now you went too far. You had me going. Now you went too far. Dan Burton, good to see you. Thank you very much.